Let's get it done. Yeah. Yeah. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to your absolutely favorite podcast.
Riffin with Griffin, yeah.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
With Griffin,
Riffin with Griffin.
with Griffin, yeah.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is Riffin with Griffin. What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Riffin with Griffin, starring yours truly, Erik Griffin. I'm back from the honeymoon. I'm dark and lovely. We're gonna talk about that. Umbrella Academy. The finishing of Obi-Wan. A little bit about the Supreme Court ruling. Mexican hospitality. And a bunch of other stuff. So it's Riffin with Griffin. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Riffin with Griffin. Riffin with Griffin. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, yeah. Feeling it today. Yeah, son. Feeling that energy today because voice feeling good coming back from the honeymoon. Before we get started though, let's pay some bills. First up, I want to say Nutrafol. You can grow thicker, healthier hair and support my show. Only available to U.S. customers for a limited time. Get $15 off at nutrafol.com/men with code Griffin. We'll hear more about them later. All right, so what's up, everybody? Well, welcome to Riffin with Griffin. I'm in a good ass mood. Just got back from Mexico, and boy, my arm's tired. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, man, it was just let's just get to it. The honeymoon was spectacular. This picture behind me right now, for those that are watching live on YouTube, and thank you for watching live on YouTube. Also, please, let's subscribe, guys. You know what I mean? Don't forget to subscribe. And then I'm on Twitch daily. You know how that works. Erik Griffin Gaming on Twitch. I'll be twitching after this probably. And then check me out on Patreon too, even if you just want to support. Even if I don't do enough content, I'm trying. But, you know, sign up for Patreon there too, you know. And just because, shout out to my girl, my wife, Rachel, for, you know, just for her. Just put that out there. Anyways, so I'm back from Mexico. I'll tell you where I went. I went on a beautiful honeymoon in this place, Playa de la Casa in Escorta Resort, I believe is what it was. They got this big resort. And they got a riffraff area, okay? I'm bougie like that. I worked hard for 20 years to get where I'm at. So when I go on vacation, I want to go to a place that's like, you know, it's nice. It costs money. It was expensive, and it is what it is. But they have a big resort. So they got a riffraff area, and then they got this like exclusive adults only people that are staying there can be there. And there's not a lot of people there, and there's beautiful restaurants and a beautiful setting. It was great. And we got to go to the other place too. And when I was over at the other place, I was like, oh man, all these kids and stuff like that. And I was like, I don't want to be around this on a vacation. It just felt I don't like being around a lot of people on vacation. Okay. It is what it is. So we went to this place. It was absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to show you some pictures and stuff right now. So if you're listening right now, you know, listen, it's fine. I want you to listen. I appreciate the listening on the Apple, Google, Spotify, everywhere you're listening to the podcast. Thank you very much, and continue to do that, please. But if you know, also after you listen, you can go check out on YouTube at Erik Griffin podcast. For some reason, I couldn't get Riffin with Griffin. It's so stupid. Anyways, so this was like just our room. So we had this like pool next to the adjacent to our room. It was so great. And then as you can see, that the main picture that I was showing you is like that. This like pool was over the ocean, you know, which was really dope. And that's like me swimming. So I told Rachel to go down on the ocean, and then that I'm swimming and like in the pool. That's a pool that I'm in, and they had this thing overlooking the ocean, this like thing. So, and so this just me. That's on our balcony. We had like a hammock over the pool, which was like really nice. Then there's my beautiful wife. We were just chilling a lot. That's what we like to do. We just really like to chill. That was our thing, I had all these matching outfits that she got for me. I mean, if you can see, look at that stupid outfit I have on. It's actually dope. I shouldn't talk smack. I really enjoyed it. And then they had all these great little bars and restaurants that you could just go in because it was all inclusive. This is that picture that's the background of the thing. So that's like the pool, and that little hole right there is like, where I was swimming at in the pool was like really long pool. It was great. Rachel was just hanging out in a bikini all the time in her thing. And then like, this was that's part of the pool that stretches over the ocean. Then you had the ocean, and we were swimming in the ocean out there too. We had this beautiful dinner we went to, and it was just us. So you had to sign up for it. And then they take you in a car to this like a park. They had like with all kinds of like, attractions. It was like, they had animals and a lot of greenery, and it just was this beautiful like pool with like candles in the pool, and it was only us there, and it was just this beautiful dinner. And anyway, so there's like, I didn't want to show too many pictures. It is what it is. So and yeah, man, it was like really beautiful. And I just want to talk about like the Mexican hospitality, man. There's something about it. I'm telling you right now, man. I don't know if the place they wrangled everybody. It was like, make everybody feel special. You go out of your way to make everybody feel special. Make everybody feel like you love your job. That you enjoy everything about this, the culture, everything, because it really came across like that. I mean, these guys, we went to this one restaurant, man, and it was like the waiter comes over and he's telling us about the restaurant. All the food is from northern Mexico, and he's going in about like the northern Mexico, and in his English it's not great, but he's trying real hard, and he just makes everything sound delicious. And he's just like, I've been working in restaurants for 12 years. I lived in the States, and this is one of the most authentic. And I just like, okay, all right, and every dish that comes over, he's like, oh, this is from this and this and that and that, and this is the chef. He's telling us all about the chef and how many restaurants the chef owns, and like how long the chef's been working on this menu, and it's just like, so by the time you start eating the food, you feel like, damn, okay. And then like, the dude was just so pleasant and just made you feel like this was like you were the most special person in the world. And we were staying at, like I said, a more exclusive area, so there wasn't necessarily a lot of people in the restaurant anyway. They make sure you had to have a reservation, and and like you had like, it's one the kind of place you have like a butler. It's just like they're texting you all the time, like, what time would you like your room cleaned? Or, do you need anything? And it was just like, it was great. And they made everything pleasant. Oh my God, and the room was so nice. Oh my God. And then just the ocean, you just hear the ocean all day and night. And so like the food was just, oh man. And then, when you do all inclusive, they, you don't have to, it's like, I could tell like the portions were great portions. It's small portions. So I didn't really eat a lot, but you were full. It was the kind of portions you should have. Everything was healthy. It was, oh my God. And like I say, man, I don't know if they had these people's families held hostage and told them, if you don't make people feel special, we're going to kill your family. Because it felt like that important to every single person that worked there, that we were made to feel like we were the most important people in the world. So shout out to Escarta, I don't know if I'm saying it right, and the people over at Playa de la Casa, that portion of the hotel. It was just great. They had Teslas, so like they would take you in a private Tesla to the other area. And then every time you got in the car, even the people in the car were like, "Hi, my name is Guzman, and I'm here to," and he just was talking about, the things we got. Like one guy gave us some great marital advice. I mean, it was just, I'm telling you, like they really helped enhance the trip. That Mexican hospitality is real. Okay, like it's hardworking, pleasant people to be around, and it just was so lovely. You know, I don't know how else to describe it. I don't know how else to describe it, but it just was like a really good ass time, man. It really was. But some of the places though, I don't know if you ever went to, anybody ever go to a tasting? So there was this like fancy ass tasting. It was an 8-course tasting. Okay. So you hear that and you go, okay, 8 courses, right? We get in there and the dude is bougie as hell. Like he's a foodie. You could tell he's this slender dude. He was like, and they had their face mask on. So I don't know what the hell they're saying. Sometimes, this particular place, they made the staff wear face masks, right? Which I think is good protection for them. Some people think of that as like the people that are not wearing masks are wrong. But I feel like if I'm own a place, I'm protecting my staff. I look at it like that, but it's all perspective. So, but the guy, you could tell he's enamored by the chef. Okay. And he just, everything that comes over, he's like, this is, and he explains every single thing. Like one of the courses was steak tartare with ant larva. Let me say it again. Steak tartare with ant larva. Didn't like it, but it was like a little cup. Okay. Like a ice cream scoop. That was the whole thing. All right. It seemed to me that as the courses went on, they got smaller and the utensils got bigger. So the dude brought like a shovel over, you know what I mean? For the next course. And you're like, oh shit, this is going to be a big ass thing. And then it's like this big. Like literally one of the courses could have been like, you take your pinky and you dip it in a sauce. And then you go, that was course 2. You know what I mean? Like some of the courses were that little where I was like, okay, what? And they were like a lot of weird stuff. Okay. A lot of weird stuff. And then you have to listen to their spiel about every single course. So 8 spiels, 2 desserts. Like I said, so many different types. There was octopus and there was like all these kind of little things and creams and sauces. We finished the 8 courses and I was starving. You hear what I'm saying? Starving. I had to go to the room and order a hamburger. That's how hungry I was after this 8-course tasting. But it was so fancy and bougie that I didn't know what to say or do, just everything. And you feel like you have to try everything, even though it might be like, they make it sound like it's the most precious, most fancy thing in the world. But it could have been like, this is some cow shit covered in ant semen. And then he would go into a spiel about, the cow was from the northern part of Mexico, and this particular farm, the shit is cultivated, and you're just listening and you're like, okay, can I take my little spoonful of this thing right now, man? So that's the only meal where I was like, what? You know what I mean? And then like finish it starving. Okay. So had to go get that, man. And it just made me start to think about some things that like drive me crazy when you go to like restaurants. So this is the Bitchin with Griffin portion of the show. Mexican hospitality was great. But like, here's something that gets on me. If you're a couple and you sit down and let's say you order some fancy shrimp, they should bring you 2 or 4, not 3. You know what I'm saying? It's 2. It's you and your girl. And they bring you 3 shrimp. That's how you break up relationships. Because you're sitting here like, okay, it's 3 shrimps. Who getting 3? Who getting 1? And then we got to cut 1 so it seems fair? Or why am I dealing with this? Why not just bring another one? Why you bringing this uneven amount of stuff? This was happening the whole time. 3 pieces of bread, 3 shrimp, whatever. It's like, even if you out with like, it's 4 of you, or even if there's 3 people, this is another thing. Let's say there's 3 people, 3 people, 3 shrimp. Okay. Everybody getting 1 shrimp, but don't bring 5. Because now 2 people getting more, or one person's having more than they should. And so everybody's looking at each other with like a, hey man, you know, you already had 2 shrimp. Why you having another one? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, I don't know if they do this shit on purpose, but it's annoying. All the restaurants that do this, it's annoying. Bring 2 for 2, bring 3 for 3, bring 4, or you bring an even amount for everybody on the table. So if there's 3 people at the table, you bring 6 shrimp. You don't bring 5. Okay? You don't bring 5 shrimp if there's 6 people at the damn table. That don't make no sense either. Or if there's 3 people at the table. So if there's 4 people at the table, you bring 4 shrimp. You don't bring 5. Because now everybody looking at that last shrimp like, who gonna have that shrimp? Who should have that shrimp? Why are you doing that? Why are you causing turmoil at the table because of these uneven portions? They just, you know what I mean? They making tension for no reason. And then Rachel's super competitive. She is competitive. So like, if I order something, she's like, well, I want that too. Even if she don't want it, she got to have it. So now we got the shrimp, you know? And then Rachel will do this thing where she'll eat something she don't really want to eat. Or no, this is what happens. The food will come. I know it's too much food for her. And I'll be like, hey, can I get some of that? And she's like, no, this is mine. I know she's not going to finish it. But I have to wait for her to get to this point where she takes 6 bites and then she's like, I'm full. And there's so much food left. And I'm like, why didn't you just share it with me in the beginning? Because she initially don't want to share. I think we're both like that. So when we go to some place and you bring an uneven amount of food, you messing with people. I can't stand that. That's my first of my bitching with Griffin things. All right. Here's another one. And this has to do with Rachel too. So Rachel's taking a picture of me. And I'm like, it's like, I know it's not a flattering picture. You know what I mean? But she's like, oh, this looks good. It's not flattering. You know, and I go, hey, why are you trying to embarrass me? Like, this is clearly going to be embarrassing if she takes this picture of me. And she'll say back to me, well, you try to embarrass me with your pictures. And that is not true. This is all made up in her head. This is what I mean. When I take a picture of her, no matter what picture I take of her, and I put it up on my Instagram or whatever, all the comments are like, oh, man, you got a baddie. She's beautiful, blah, blah, blah. It's always good compliments. Okay, it's her that says she makes it bad. Like, I put a picture of her and all the comments were, you look good. She sees it and she goes, oh, my hair. What? What are you talking about? Your hair looks great. She's always worried about this part on the top of her head. Guys, I don't get it. Ladies, can you explain it to me in the comments? And guys, and the guys in the comments too, have you ever in your life looked at your woman and been like, yo, babe, what's up with your part? It's looking like a Harry Potter, you know, it's the Harry Potter lightning bolt. Not once have I been like, ooh, that part is off. That's all she sees is the part. Or she'll be like, I look fat. And I'm like, woman, you like 102 pounds soaking wet. You know what I mean? It's like, she's slender frame. But that's all she sees. So to her, I put a picture up and she's like, well, you embarrass me because that picture makes me look fat. Where? Where does it make you look fat? Who is looking at this thinking you fat? Who? You. You the only one that thinks you look fat. But she could put a picture up of me up where I look ridiculous. Like, I'm actually fat. You know what I'm saying? But her thing is like, oh my God, you look cute. I'm like, no. We're not putting this picture up because I don't look good. I actually have fat angles. It's just every angle. You know what I'm saying? I got like one angle where if I, a certain way, you will be like, oh, Griff looking good. Every other angle, I look like I'm fat. So it's not the same. I don't know why women do this. You know, it's like, it's them, it's in their head. And then we have to be responsible, you know. It's so ridiculous. All right. Here's another one. This is another thing I learned on the trip, honeymoon. Women don't like you to touch their face. Okay. Sometimes it can be like really tender. You know, I like to grab Rachel's chin. You know what I mean? And then give her a little kiss. You know what I'm saying? She got a nice chin, and her, you know, I got fat fingers, so I just grab her chin. It's like a little titty, you know. So I'm like, ooh, got this little chin titty, and now I'm like, girl. Then they'll be like, it's like, here's what I hate that she does. We could be like in a super tender moment. Like, maybe you don't like this, but tell me after this tender moment. Like, you know we having a moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know we having this moment right now. I'm in there like, girl, I love you. I'm saying some tender shit. Grab it. And then, like, in that tender moment, she'll be like, don't touch my face. Oh, my God. Why are you touching my face? You know I don't like when you touch my face. then it's like, damn, moment gone. Moment ruined. You know what I mean? It's like, she could have easily just been like, babe, you know, ooh, babe, I just did my face routine. You know what I mean? Like, it's all, you know what I find that when you're fighting with, it's not even about a fight. Communication is such a, and what word am I going to use right now? Nuanced. Communication is so nuanced so like when you're dealing with an issue with your significant other, so you're communicating, which is such an important thing, communicating. How you communicate is important. One of the Mexican hospitality things. So one of the guys, the driver. So where he's driving us to this really fancy dinner, and he says he's been married. He goes, let me give you some advice. And he was so pleasant, you know, and he was like, you know, it's like my wife. He was like, it's how I ask my wife. So he said, my wife, you know, she gave me some tortillas and the tortillas were cold. And he was saying like, so one way you can do it, if you say, babe, the tortillas are cold. You know, what's up with the cold tortillas? And so he said, that's not how you should do it. You should ask her for what you want. Hey, babe, can I have some warm tortillas? Or can you warm the tortillas up? So that's about how you communicate. So it's like, communicate what you like or don't like. How you communicate, because that's why people fight in the first place. When you are fighting with somebody, especially your significant other, the fight could start about, hey, you know, you left the peanut butter. Can you please close the peanut butter jar? You keep leaving it open. Now, you start off about that, but it devolves into, why are you yelling at me? Why are you always on me? You know, so then it becomes about how you are communicating. So this guy said, you know, you do it with love. You know, he said, communicate, you know, and communicate with love. So he said, you know, warm the tortillas. So that's my thing now. No matter what's happening with Rachel, I go, baby, warm those tortillas, please. And it's just, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. She could have warmed the tortillas. I'm grabbing her chin, or I'm like putting my hand on her face, like, baby, I love you. I'm maybe like, you know, you're putting your hand on the side of her face because you want to move in for a kiss. And then at that moment, she's all like, don't touch my face. Oh my God. So it was just, you know, it just was a silly little moment. So now we have this thing now where we tell each other. So now we use that all the time now. Since in the trip, since we got back, she'll even say like, babe, I need you to warm the tortillas by doing this, you know? And so you just find little tricks and ways to like say things lovingly, so you're not so freaking crazy. All right, guys. Enough of that. Let's get into, actually, you know what? Let's pay some bills. Let's pay these bills. Can you pay my bills? Pay my telephone bills. Let's pay some bills and talk about Nutrafol, right? Nutrafol. I don't have a hair problem, but I got a lot of buddies that have a hair problem. They're losing their hair and they're looking for a natural way, non-chemical way to get their hair back, or, you know, at least re-energize or try to get their hair back. And, you know, you got to get ahead of the thinning hair, and Nutrafol's whole body approach to hair growth. No drugs, no compromises. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement, clinically shown to improve your hair growth, thickness, and visible scalp coverage. Ooh, scalp coverage. That's the thing. Because even for me, I feel like right here, I'm getting to the point, so I might have to like actually test this out myself. But it's physician formulated using natural medical grade ingredients. Nutrafol's drug-free patented technology provides consistent, reliable results without compromising your sexual health. Because isn't that the point of even wanting to keep your hair, is to still feel sexy? And you know what I mean? Imagine if you getting your hair growth, but then something's going on down there. In a clinical study, men showed progressive improvement in hair growth and thickness after 3 and 6 months. Nutrafol is also trusted and recommended by more than 3,000 top doctors. You can grow thicker, healthier hair and support our show by going to Nutrafol.com/men and entering promo code Griffin to save $15 off your first month subscription. This is their best offer anywhere, and it's only available to U.S. customers for a limited time. Plus, free shipping every order. Get $15 off at Nutrafol.com/men, spelled Nutrafol.com/men. Promo code Griffin. Start growing that hair back today. Okay, everybody. Once again, thanks for being here. Riffin with Griffin. Okay, so what is some stuff that I wanted to talk about today? Let's just start light and then we'll go heavy. Even though this one, for some, might not even be light. So I saw, while I was out there in my little downtime, I was able to watch Netflix. 'Cause when we vacation, we chill. I straight up chill. I don't like doing things. I like chilling with that ocean. So that's what I was doing. So I watched Umbrella Academy. Okay. So I don't know if you guys watch Umbrella Academy. I think it's a pretty good show. I love sci-fi, magic, alternate universe type of stuff. And Umbrella Academy is that. Umbrella Academy is about it's like this group. Some babies are born mysteriously all over the world, and this eccentric billionaire buys up a bunch of them. It's like 7 of them, and he turns them into superheroes because they all have supernatural powers, and he has a superhero academy called the Umbrella Academy. This is in the 3rd season. Is this the 3rd season? Yes, the 3rd season. So it was starring Ellen Page, and Ellen Page turned into Elliot Page. And so what do you do when one of your main actors, you're pretty much one of your stars, is goes into some, into transition? How do you handle it? They handled it. I'm just going to talk about how they handled it. You know what? It was fine. I'm one of these people that I don't care. Okay? I don't care. I'm not super right. I'm not super left. I'm kind of one of these people that, like, whatever you're going to do. I don't really care. It doesn't really bother me. I think when you're online and you're like, the online left and the online right, these people make everything so important and make it seem like we're supposed to be sitting around really thinking about this ad nauseum. And I will honestly say we really don't. And when somebody says, hey, I'm gay, my response is, I don't care. You know what I mean? I think a lot of us are like that. If you're one of these people that still really cares about that, I always wonder why. Why? It's like, somebody will write a comment and they'll be like, somebody will be like, this is gay. Okay, what does that mean? You know what I mean? Like, finish it. Finish your thought. Nobody wants to finish their thought when they say that, because then they themselves, they hear how stupid and hateful it sounds. I don't know, man. I'm just telling you how I feel. I don't care, all right? But they make us care by how they talk about everything ad nauseum. Even now in my own damn podcast, I'm talking about it ad nauseum. They dealt with this. The character just, hey, I've always been this. And they changed from Vanya to Victor. And then they made every character in the show kind of give a I don't care. Hey, I'm fine with it. Happy for you. So they just kind of dealt with it. And for me, I wonder, though, I actually would have enjoyed if one of them didn't like it. Like if they wrote that into the show. But I kind of feel like they didn't want to deal with it, There's a part of them was just kind of like, hey, you know what? Why don't we make everybody supportive? Even though, to me, it felt false because this family isn't supportive. If you watch Umbrella Academy, all they do is bicker and fight and talk shit about each other. But for this subject, all of a sudden, everybody's a one big happy family. So I get it. I understand the choice. Probably also for Elliot Page to be like, hey, I kind of don't want to deal with what I have to deal with in real life. So can we just do this transition and then they move on with the show? So I think they had a moment. I thought they dealt with it like great. You know what I mean? I thought, it's like, okay, they kind of just like everybody loved it, and then they just moved on with the show, which I thought, what else are they going to do? Artistically, I would have liked a couple of them to be like, nah. Like, she's actually fighting with someone in the show constantly. They're fighting. I thought, why not address that in this moment? I would have liked that. I think it would have been great to see how they would have wrote it and dealt with it, because I'm sure Elliot Page himself was involved in this process, because what else are they going to do? They can't just, in the show, it was a woman, you know what I mean? Vanya, this woman, and all of a sudden it's not anymore. So you got to kind of address it. I kind of would have liked them to address it and really get into it like artistically, but that's just the artist in me. I love drama. Like I'm talking about on screen. I think that's good tension and drama, and they could have really went places with it. And I also understand why the actor was like, you know what? I'm dealing with this in my real life. I don't want to deal with this at work. In my fictional life. I know what you mean though. Like I see people in the chat saying like they're glad they didn't make it a storyline, but it was part of the story. You get what I'm saying? And I think that it would have just added some extra tension that was already there. Like this character that Elliot Page is playing is super like egomaniacal, like the world revolves around me type of thing. And they were kind of addressing that a little bit. And I thought that there were moments there they could have brought this up to, but they didn't. I'm fine with it. I think that I like the show. You know what I mean? I watched it's a good watch. I watched the whole season while I was on vacation because I was just like, oh wow, I'm already done with this. So, I give it a few woo-woos. You know what I mean? Woo, 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 woo. So woo-woos to Umbrella Academy and, Elliot Page on his journey going through this process. You know what I mean? That, to me, I think it's too public. It's like, hey, do you? Like, I don't got all my shit out that I you know what I mean? That I get it. We're in this weird times and society likes to fight, but I think everything's so polarizing that it's like, oh my God, you know what I mean? So it's weird. And speaking of that, this is the next thing I actually wanted to talk about. Is the same kind of, it's in that same line, man. It's in that same vein. So let's get into this one. All right. Now, I want to reiterate what I said earlier. Okay. Me personally, I don't care about your issue, these issues that they keep telling us and yelling at us that we're supposed to care about. You have to care about these things. And some of us are just kind of like, hey, it's like, so what? It's like when somebody comes to you and they go, hey, yo, did you hear that so-and-so is gay? The response to that should always be, so? Like, that's just where I'm at with it. But, okay, maybe you're not. Maybe this is, like, so important to you, what people are doing in the bedroom or who they love. All right. To me, I think gayness is on a spectrum. I think it's just like autism in terms of, like, they have a spectrum of different levels of, like, where you are with this. You know what I mean? And so, whatever. Where are you? Super straight? Or you're fluid? Or whatever the things you are? I don't care. I think it's live your life, okay? That being said, so, there's this movie that came out, Buzz Lightyear, the cartoon. It's like an origin story of So in Toy Story, you have the Buzz Lightyear cartoon action figure. And in Toy Story, the action figure is based off Buzz Lightyear in that world, whoever this character is. So they're doing like an origin story of here's Buzz Lightyear, and you know what I'm saying? It's very confusing because you wonder why. Because Tim Allen didn't do the voice, but this is why he didn't do the voice, because Tim Allen was the toy. He wasn't Buzz Lightyear, if that makes sense. Anyways, so they did this movie, Buzz Lightyear. It didn't do very well in terms of for Pixar, but there is a controversial thing that happened in the movie that a lot of people are talking about, and I want to talk about it. So in the movie, there is a lesbian kiss. I even have it pulled up. I don't want to necessarily play it because I don't want to get dinged. But here's the moment. Okay, so they walk into this thing and they kiss. Okay, all right. So, it's one of these things where you just go, wait, how do I feel about this? How am I supposed to feel? If I talk about it, are you being homophobic? Or, that's just where we're at right now in the world, where you might see something on screen and be like, hey, I didn't like this. And then, or I didn't like the movie, or I didn't like whatever. And then people make you feel like, you're wrong because, you know what I mean? All right. So I'm going to tell you, but I feel like my stance is, like I said, I don't care, but I also have to think about, like, there are people that do care, and people come from different walks of life. So here's what I mean by that. I don't have kids, but I want to have kids. Hopefully, the honeymoon went well, if you know what I mean. Because daddy put it in. Anyway, let's say you have kids. And let's say you're actually open-minded person. You might be a thing was like, you see this and you go, all right, whatever, I don't care. So let's say the people that don't have kids, you just go to this, the thing comes on screen, you go, you don't care. Now me, I'm all about artistic integrity. So, and like, I am very like I'm hypersensitive to like this sort of like jamming things down our throat. Is this the only kiss in the movie? Because if it's the only kiss in the movie, is other people kissing? You know what I mean? And even in this scene right here, when you look at it, you got an interracial couple. Like look, look at this. Look at this. So in the back, you got the black dude with whoever she is. If it's a white girl, Latina, I didn't see the movie, so I don't know what that's about right there. But even in there, this whole scene is like an agenda going on, right? You're like, okay, this is what you're trying to do. All right, fine. I'm so super hyper aware of it because I'm like, where was this the whole movie? Like I don't like when these kind of things happen because I go, is this for the art, or are you trying to make a statement? Or do you think your responsibility is to make a statement with your art? I don't know. And so we live in a free country where I can interpret this the way I want. And I'm saying, this is like, why you put this in the movie? You know what I mean? Why? Like, did this service the movie? Like, is there other kissing going on in the movie, or is this the only kiss in the movie? You know what I mean? Because then you just kind of go, well, if this is the only kiss in the movie, then you doing it to make a statement. This is why you did this. Okay, I'm an adult. I'm a grown-ass man. I can go to the movie. I can see this. I mean, that's how I think. I'll be like, oh, wow, what a scene. You got the black guy in the back, the lesbian kiss. It's like, okay, all right, I get what you got. Okay, Disney, Pixar, I see what you're doing. Good for you. Thumbs up. Person of color, brothers, gay. I get it. I don't care. I also understand that there's another side of this for people that do care that's not coming from a hateful place. Let's say you have kids. If I had kids and I took my kids to this and I didn't know this was going on in this movie, and I haven't had to talk with my young kids yet about same-sex relationships. So we walking in the theater and I'm thinking, okay, good. Now I have some entertainment for my kids, and we could just, it's lights and pictures, and we could just have 2 hours. We're not worried about nothing in the world. Here comes the lesbian kiss. Now your 5, 6, 7, 8, 9-year-old is looking at you like, hey, why are those two girls kissing? And now you have to have a discussion that you weren't ready to have yet. I think it's fair for people to be like, yo, can you give me a heads up on this? I don't think that's being hateful. I don't think that's being like whatever. Like, it's not normalized yet, okay? In your household, if it is, good for you, then you don't have to worry about it. When you go into the theater and that happens, your kids might be like, oh, this is just like Auntie Rose, or, oh, this is like our neighbor, or like, oh, this is what mom and dad talked to us about, that this kind of thing happens and it's all okay, good. Good for that family. I'm proud of your progressiveness. But there are other people who haven't made that choice yet, who haven't decided to talk to their young children about other alternatives in the world and things that are going on, or maybe things that may be going on with them. I think it's okay for those parents to be like, yo, what up, Pixar? You need to put this in the damn you know how they do it on like you watching a show on like HBO, and now it says smoking, sexual activity, strobe lights. Like they put like a list of things that might be going on in this movie. Sexual, rape. They put all kinds of things, so you can go, okay, here's all the things I might see in this movie. Let me decide if I want to watch a movie like this. God damn it! I think you need to have this kind of stuff with this for people that have kids who have not decided. Now, if you're a person out there that feels like, well, so what? They should talk about it. I don't disagree with you, but don't be mad if there's people out there with kids who haven't had that talk yet, who are now forced to. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Now, I do find something wrong with the people who are actually homophobic and who are making a big stink and who are, it's like, come on, you don't have to be so hateful. There are people that live like this in the world. This looks like people I know. I've been to parties like this. I've actually been to a party where there's interracial couples and a lesbian couple kisses. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is real world, right? But like, damn. So let's take a chill pill. There's a middle of the road right here where we can have a discussion without somebody saying you're homophobic or hateful. And then the other side too, chill out. This is real world stuff too. And you need to be more accepting. But either way, I think that there's a discussion to be had without it being such a polarizing subject. Done. I get into it on Riffin with Griffin. We get into it on Riffin with Griffin. All right. I want to talk to you guys about this other thing that I saw. This one is funny to me. Okay. Speaking of hateful speech. So there's this conservative white woman. Her name is Allison Steinberg. I don't know who she is. I just saw a tweet about it and I was looking at the tweet and to me it was kind of funny. And so I'm gonna play. I think you guys will be able to hear it. Let's see. Hello. Wait, let me refresh. Refresh, baby. Oh, no. Wait, hold on. Let me find it again. Yeah, so she's like this, she's this, oh, here we go. Tweet replies. Here it is. She's this conservative, like I said, white lady who I think the most confused people right now, species, is conservative white women. I think that they can be like, they sound, let me say this too. I also don't like when like somebody tells you because of like your race or your gender that you're supposed to follow like this political party. I hate that. The Democratic, like the super lefty people try to tell you this all the time, that Latinos, you should all vote Democrat. And it's like, nah, man, values are important to certain people. And like, I think because of the overturning of Roe versus Wade, the country's now going to be divided more than just conservative liberal. It's really going to be about it's like religion, non-religious people, wealthy, non-wealthy. I mean, I think that we're being divided in more ways than you can't just simplify it to Democrat and Republican or conservative and liberal, like far left, far right. That's the craziness. But like, this is like, okay, let me see if I can play this now. All right, here we go. All right.
What the hell is that? Huntington Beach is the town of good old-fashioned, hardworking American people. The people that work.
Okay, and this is what I have an issue with. This part right here. I think you guys can hear it. All right, let me go back to this part. This is an interesting part.
Good old-fashioned, hardworking American people.
Okay, let me play that again.
Fashioned, hardworking American is the town of good old-fashioned, hardworking American people.
Okay, this is my point of contention I have with people like this. She said, first of all, she has a problem with this gay pride flag flying in Hermosa Beach in Orange County. It's like, why? It's like, okay. So we either here nor there. Good old fashioned, hardworking American people. I have an issue with the words good old fashioned. Old fashioned. My question to Miss Allison, whatever her name is, how far back do you want to go for the good old fashioned American values? How far back do you want to go? Because do you want to go as far back as when women weren't allowed to vote or own things? Or you're not going to go back that far. You're going to go back to as far as, well, we fixed that. So we're going to go back as far as like where women have equal rights and all that. Is that how far you want to go back? Is that the old fashioned values? Because I'm sure that there's some white men who probably think, yeah, I don't like that. What is this? I don't think women should be being allowed to do this. You know what I mean? Like, how far back you want to go? Because the country was a certain way. There was slavery. There was like women couldn't vote. Women couldn't own things. Women couldn't do a lot of stuff. You know, I'm sure there's guys out there who are like, yeah, let's get back to good old fashioned values. So there was a point where the values had to change. The values had to change, right? So is she starting her count from good old fashioned values at that point? Because this gay pride flag is an example of values changing. How far back? So she wants to go like as far as that. So women should be able to vote and do all that. And then that's when that's when the country was set right. You know what I mean? Like, how far back does she want to go? So it's like when people are like hateful like this, it just sounds confusing to me. She sounds confused to me. You know, you don't like, and my thing too is just own it. Just say you don't like gay people. You know what I mean? Like, why make it about like old fashioned American values when America has had fluctuating values since the beginning? We started on terrible values. So you want to go back to like old American values where it was like what, where it's slavery, where like, you know, the Constitution was like black people weren't even a full person. Like, how far back you want to go? I don't know. This crazy. You know what I mean? It's, I just feel like, why have this out? Why put this out when you know how people are going to take it? You know, like the people that support you, they already support you. The people that are anti-gay, the people that think this is like wrong and all that, they're already with you on this. So you put something out like this, is it just to rile people up and make people feel a certain way? Maybe, who knows? I just questioned to her. Like, own your bigotry. And like, how far back do you want to go for your old fashioned values? How far you want to go? Like, when does it start? Like, give me the date that the old fashioned values start. Cause I know it's going to be after women's rights. You know what I'm saying? But maybe not for her. Maybe she's like, and I'm tired of women. I don't know, man. And this leads us into the last topic of the day, which is like, as you guys know, the Roe versus Wade was overturned, you know? And I don't know, man. I have such a nuanced opinion of the thing. I don't even want to go into that part of it. I just want to go like, because here's the thing, man. We live in a country, because like right now, all the sort of like liberal progressive people that I see on the internet, some of my friends, they're posting these things, and it's all democracy is, there's no more democracy. Anytime your side loses, you think democracy is done, when this actually is a process of democracy. It's so nuanced, man. I could do a whole episode on this and just really do, if I did like some more research on like how all this works. But I found out some things. You know, we're the only country in the world where abortion was a constitutional right. The only country in the entire world. So it doesn't mean that abortion can't come back, or like I mean, apparently Congress can pass it, but how do we get Congress? Well, you have to vote, man. You got to vote. You got to vote for your senators. You got to vote for your congressmen. You got to vote for your governors. Most people aren't involved. Most people don't vote. The voting numbers are super low all the time. And this is what you get. This is what you get. But just because your side lost, it doesn't mean democracy is under attack. In the same way, those people, when Biden won, that was democracy in play, man. These trials that are going on for Trump right now, they're proving that he was trying to overturn the election, that he was doing some shady shit to try to stay president. And the democratic system won. The democratic system was like, nah, you can't do that. And he didn't win. That's democracy. But there are people that think that democracy, whoa, my God, Trump didn't win. Democracy is shattering. And then they tried to go do that thing. They went to the Capitol, right? Everybody thinks democracy is not working when it's not what they want. Abortion, this is another example of it. All right. The states are going to pass their laws. This can still, apparently from my understanding, Congress can still make this a law that abortion is legal in all 50 states. It just doesn't have to be a constitutional law. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so nuanced, man. But don't think that democracy is being shattered because this thing happened. There's ways to fight it. I mean, they fought it. They've been working on it for years. They elected their conservative people, religious conservative people to the Supreme Court, and they did it. Okay, in 50 more years, if the Democrats can get their shit together and start actually, voting and picking candidates that they want and fighting for the stuff in the right way in the courts, in the voting booth, then maybe this will change again. But the world's not coming to an end, guys. All right. It's like, so I have a friend of mine. I was going to show her thing, but I'm not going to put her on blast. But so on her Instagram, so the first picture on her Instagram grid, I'm scrolling through, and the first picture is like this thirst trap 2 bikini picture. You know what I mean? You slide, and she's dope. Okay. So it's super dope, sexy. The next one is this Roe versus Wade, and it's a viral video that's going around by this this talk show host. I don't know if she's a talk, whatever it was, but I know you've seen it. Maybe you've seen it where she's talking about, I don't believe in your Bible. I fight for your right to believe in it, but you can't force it on me. It's a really powerful video. Okay. And she has that on her thing. And then underneath it says, and I see this a lot. And I've seen this. I have a bunch of female friends who are saying this. This is the sentiment they're putting out. Where are the men on the Roe versus Wade? Where are you guys? Where are you? What are you guys? And then I want to respond to that. So to my friend, you know where we are? We're on your other picture. We're on the bikini picture. That's where we are. If you want to know where we are. You want to know where the men are? They're on the Supreme Court fucking shit up and ruling the world. Oh, and winning women's swim meets. That's where the men are. You know where the men are. Stop asking about where the men are. We've done enough damage. Where are you? That's what I want to know. Where are you? I'm going to tell you guys a story. Why I stopped drinking milk. I don't drink cow milk anymore, like regular dairy. And I remember I rarely do. I mean, sometimes I'm at a restaurant and they don't have, I go, okay, give me a little cream. But for the most part, I don't drink milk anymore. And I'm going to tell you, I remember the day I stopped drinking milk. I was watching it was Facebook. A Facebook video came up and it was this dope. She was a bad bitch. Okay. She was dope. It was one of those I'm like, oh shit. You're like, let me see what this video is about. And she was she was a very provocative at first. And then, and the way she was doing it was great because she was still being sexy, but she was like, do you know how milk is made? And then cut to, she starts going in and showing milk farms and starts talking about it. And it really was powerful and effective for me. So by the end of it, I was like, oh, you got me. You tricked me. And it actually worked because after that, I was like, oof, I don't know if I can drink milk anymore. You know what I mean? I was just like, so I'm saying, stop asking like what I think about what's going on. Just do your part, you know? So maybe on that bikini picture, maybe you put the name of the congressperson that we should vote for in the next election right underneath there. You know what I mean? You really want to use your powers for good. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Do your part too. Because I'm of the belief that, like, you know, the beauty of this system that we have in the United States is that we don't have like all these laws that are like super universal, that the states are they leave it up to the states. And look, we have different value systems all over the country. People that live on coastal cities and urban centers, they have different values from people that live in like middle of America stuff. So it's like you have a place you can live anywhere in the United States that are more in line with how you believe. And so, yes, they overturned Roe versus Wade in the Constitution, but it doesn't mean that abortion is going to go away altogether. You know, I mean, like I say, I've talked about what I feel about that. I'm not a super fan of that, but I am a fan of a woman's right to choose. I do believe in that. And I just get sick and tired of like people trying to justify it. Like I see women saying that, like, oh, abortion is good. And I'm like, what? Like, don't say that. You know, like, I don't agree with that. I don't think it's good. But you making the choice. To me, it's like putting down a horse. You know, it's like, it's not good. You have to make this choice because of whatever the circumstances are, whether they're good or bad. Boom. But you're not having a good time doing it. You know, you're just like, so stop like trying to justify it and making it out like this is some great thing. Like, we're talking about a thing that like a majority of people don't think it's great, but we're saying, we know you have to do this sometimes. You know, you're making a choice. And I don't even care about the people that want to justify why, like all these like extreme cases of like, well, a 10-year-old girl was raped, so that's when I'm okay with abortion. Or there's something going on in utero that the mom's going to die. So like, I don't need all the justifications. I don't need all that to say. I just say, I respect your right to choose. But let's not sit here and act like it's a great choice. I've said this before. I don't want to go into it again. But I will say this in closing. Until we get a handle on what's going on, hey, everybody, maybe take some personal responsibility now. You know, all the people that are using it as like a, like a birth control. You know what I mean? Like, let's maybe, get your pullout game in order. Maybe use some condoms. Maybe you should really think about what this means now before you like it. I know what it, look, we all want to bust inside. Okay. That's just the crass way to say it. I know how good that feels, but now we need to like, let's think about this a little bit more now. Where am I? Is this a good place to do this? Am I in a good state to do this just in case? I think that like taking a second now before we just willy-nilly until we get a handle on this. Okay. Just take some time, y'all. I don't, cause we don't know what's going to happen next. And like I say, I think a woman's right to choose is super important. It's their body. Like, I get what's happening, but it's like, come on. Until we get some science where we could do it in like a machine or something, you know what I mean? Until it's like, that's what they need to start working on. Like, it's like, well, I'm about to have a baby, take it out and put it in this thing so I don't have to worry about it. Until we got that going on, till technology's more, because again, I don't want to keep going because now I'm just rambling, but they are talking about other things now. They're talking about overturning, they want to get rid of gay rights, and they want to, some places they're talking about like they don't even want women to get contraceptives, like, birth control. So like, I think that's going way too far. You know what I mean? But that's why, get involved, guys. That's what I'm gonna close with, is like, get involved, vote. Some people say they think voting doesn't help. It does. because it's on like a more nuanced level. Like you really have to look at it, how it really works in terms of like when you vote for your senators, when you vote for your congressmen, like, so you hear about these like representatives who are like playing to their base. You know, we don't, the other side, they're not playing to their base because their base ain't even voting or not even getting out there. So if we really want to make a difference, I think that should be the outcry. It's, you know, not sentiment on the internet, but actual action. M. Kells, you are acknowledged. Sorry. Thank you for the super chat. All you guys, thank you for the super chats. Thank you for being here. Well, somebody asked a question. So what's the difference between abortion and birth control? I mean, if you can answer that question, dude, come on. Really? You don't know the difference? I mean, there's a huge difference. But like I say, I don't know. It's a real discussion that we're going to continue to have, but we should have it. But what I'm saying, let me close with this. The world is not ending. So my liberal progressive people, the world is not ending. This is still something that can be passed in Congress. You know, in the same way like weed, man, like weed was legal in a bunch of states, but it wasn't legal federally yet. So, you know, it's like they could do that. They could like, I don't want to speak too much because I don't want to speak out my ass too much because it's like, I have to like look some of this stuff up, but I do know that laws can be passed by Congress that doesn't necessarily have to be constitutional laws. You know what I mean? Something like that. So anyway, in the comments, if you want to write in the comments, let's write about it. Let's we can fact check and we can like get this all out there. But you know, this is just a look, I'm just a comedian talking. I'm just having a discussion and I want you to talk about it too. It don't have to be hateful. It don't have to be like, we're just trying to have a discourse and that's what we should do. So talk about things for real. Don't let people make you feel like, don't let people put you in a box. So if you're talking about stuff like, say, that kiss on that movie, don't make people make you feel like, well, that means you're homophobic. No, man, you just want to have a discussion about things. And I think how I talked about it is a fair thing. I think it's fair to feel that way. If you're a parent and you feel that way, that's fair. So anyways, it's time for some Zone. I got to go play me some Warzone, y'all. I love y'all. This is just one of those episodes of Riffin with Griffin. Shout out to you guys. Thanks for all the super chats. Thanks for the love. Thanks for being here every week. Spread the word. You know, we're going to keep going, see what we're doing. Check out King of the Sting. And also check out Gen to Gen. My other podcast is going strong, man. I'm having a good time with Matthew Espinosa and I talking about different things from the different generations. So check that out too. King, Sting, Wing, and the Sing, and Gen to Gen podcast. So please take a look, gander, and listen about that. Thank you for listening on all the platforms, and thank you for watching here on YouTube. I look at the comments because I like having a good back and forth. Just, you know, you don't gotta be hateful, guys. Let's just let's just talk. All right. So thanks for being here. See you next week.